Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Empowered Living Network Marketing Hangout. I am Stacy Wallace, executive with Solivay. Very excited to be representing the Empowered Living Network this morning with none other than Laura Wells, who is our rock star, cranking it up, is right now dominating the bonus leadership billboard or the Cruise to Thousandaire, and I'm just so proud of her. Incredible, gifted woman. And today we are going to, we actually decided to keep this a little locked down, just the two of us today, because we want to talk about two things that we feel we are getting asked over and over and over again, and that is, how are you guys signing up so many people? What are you saying? And I've talked to a bunch of people, but I just can't seem to close the deal. So today we're going to talk about scripts and closing. And before we get started, I'm going to introduce my fair and cloudy weathered friend who shows up instant in season and out of season, Laura Wells. Say hello to everybody.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. And I wasn't sure if you meant fair as in my skin. I realize I am pale. I'm naturally a redhead, so that's natural for me.
I love
it. Yes, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share all this stuff with you guys.
Have you seen my children? We are the most Caucasian tribe in the world. I mean, if anybody ever asks, where are you from? I mean, you've got to think either European or just down-home Southern people, because we are whiter than white. We should own stocks in Coppertone.
Yeah, somebody actually asked me, it was a couple years ago, but somebody was commenting on how pasty I am, and they said, where are you from? I said, the shade. I'm from the shade.
Exactly, exactly. I hear we're supposed to live longer.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Well, Laura, first off, thank you so much again. I think there's a really cool story behind your experience with Solivay, and you and I were talking about it this morning, because right now there is no question that there are a few people in the company that are experiencing tremendous results. We have, you and I, we have something that we share in common, and that is that, number one, we love people. Number two, we love to talk to people, and we've been gifted with an ability, I guess in sales what they would say, we are recruiter Shiras. We are warriors in the area of being able to provide a vision and then get people to take action on that vision. A lot of people cast vision, but they don't know how to get people to take action. And today we're going to talk about that. But maybe just for starters, for those folks who are just watching us maybe for the first time, you're tapping in, we want to let you know, number one, that you can follow us right now, and we'll have a thread conversation going. We're going to actually focus on it more towards the end of this hangout so that Laura and I can really concentrate on just sharing our information. We're finding that folks are wanting to talk to us in the middle of these hangouts, and it forces one of us to not look at you and not focus on you. But we want to both focus on you this morning and really put our hearts into this, because this is such an important topic. But you can go to facebook.com/groups/Empowered Living Network. So facebook.com/groups/Empowered Living Network. And you're going to be able to post your questions, and then towards the end of this, Laura and I will open that up, and we will go ahead and field those questions, which I'm sure there's going to be many. So what I'd love to do, Laura, as we get started, again, Laura Wells, who is doing fantastic with the company. My name is Stacy Wallace, social executive, and we are going to cover scripting and closing today. Laura, tell us your story, how things started. And one thing I love is you have never let the fact that you were just starting or your numbers were low in the beginning to keep you from getting into the place where leadership was happening. Kind of tell that story and what's happened.
Yeah, and I think that, well, thank you, first of all. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the president of the HeartLink Network. It's a women's networking organization. We've got about 200 chapters worldwide, and what a lot of people don't realize, I've told a few people this though, is that I haven't really tapped into that. And Stacy, you said something similar, that, you know, I haven't really worked that warm market. They know me as that. That's my life. That's my ministry, really. And so when I came into Solevay, I literally came in just with a fresh start. I'm starting from square one. I started reaching out to people that, that I know, and that friends of mine. But other than that, it's been truly starting from square one. And so hopping into really making a decision, first of all, that I really wanted to be a part of not just the community, but part of the leadership community. I really wanted to be a part of that special group because I believe in the overall vision of Solevay. And to really be a brand advocate and move the vision forward, to be a part of that, I wanted to be a part of that core group that was, scaling the ranks of the company, that was really known and respected by corporate as part of that group to help the mission. I mean, numbers are one thing, but when you are, showing your leadership in a company, that's what can help it move it forward. But you're right. I mean, I came in with no numbers, and I started the same way I started my Solevay business. I started creating relationships. I worked, to create a relationship with you, Stacy, with James and Gary Craig, and just some of the leaders that I kept seeing their name. I kept seeing their name on these boards. They were the founding 12 and all that. So I literally just started reaching out to them and said, hey, I love what you're doing. I love what you just posted on Facebook. Can I help you in any way? I started getting into it by giving first, before even expecting anything in return. And so when you had mentioned that there was going to be a coaching group, an exclusive coaching group, I was kind of like, oh, me, pick me. So I came in and I volunteered to be a part of that group, and I was very much a low man on the totem pole. My numbers weren't there, but my passion, my heart was, and so I just jumped in, really just, honestly, I just started in that group as thinking I was not going to compete with numbers or anything, and we talked about that this morning, but I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be in the thick of things, and to learn from them, and hopefully to give something else to the group. So.
But you instead, which was crazy, you came in and I even remember we had a mastermind group of leaders in the company, and you said, how do I get in that group? And I told you, here's how you get in that group. You have to attain a certain rank or above, and that's all about numbers. And then you said, how can I serve that group? And it was amazing because servitude equals latitude. And there was a need. We needed a need for somebody posting in Facebook. We had a need for somebody that would help us just kind of manage those things. And it happens to be one of your gifts, administration. Very, very good at administration and connecting with people. What was amazing, Laura, is you got in with your heart first before you got in with your numbers. I think that's important because this is all going to go back to the conversation of how to connect with people. Do you connect thinking this is a number for me or a member for me, or do you first connect with the heart? And so Laura came in with the spirit of giving. And of course, as a leader, I had a huge need of someone that would just help me with all the things that we're doing. And Laura did that. And I can remember, in fact, I have the emails of, Stacy, I know I'm not the biggest guy in this group, but I want you to know I'm hungry and I want to learn. And this incredible sense of humility. And what was great about it is she got around those leaders and the voices, and she was in the calls because she was helping me manage the calls. So she was serving. And what was very cool about it is in the process of that, she started to learn a lot of new things. That's why these Google Hangouts are so important, because we're letting you in on those conversations. You're not having to wonder, I wonder what they're talking about. I wonder what kind of conversation. We talk about marketing. We talk about ideas. We talk about strategies. We talk about what's hot. We talk about what's not. We talk about if there's issues going on in member support or with MMS. We talk about how we can resolve those. Well, those are all the same things now we're doing for you live on these Google Hangouts every single Wednesday morning. So Laura just suddenly took off, and in that 30-day coaching, it was called Push, Pull, Give, she got in and she made a statement the first week. I'm not really competitive because I just do this by the heart. Forget that. She crushed it. In fact, we had a contest, a trio, what we would call a recruiting contest, or I call it fishing, who could sign up the most trios in that 30-day period. Well, who do you think beat all those boys? Little Miss Laura Wells with her I'm not competitive spirit. And the deal is all the guys they were all top recruiters, top members of the company. They had all the titles, and they were the original founders, and so they had all this, which you would think would be advantage, but it proved that title does not equal advantage. Timing does not always equal advantage just because you got in first. I believe the biggest leaders of Solevay, we haven't even recruited them yet. They haven't even become members yet. They're the people that are yet to come, that come in like Laura with a hunger and a passion for people. So Laura not only won that trio contest, but the deal was every week that somebody didn't get a trio, they had to kick in $5 to this little pool, and at the end, Laura got to take the pool. We called it the pride pool. And oh, you got some of those. Oh yeah, you still. Oh, and look, they did. They signed them, right? So they had to sign their $5 bills and send them in. And you know, it's not about the money, obviously. It's about the joy that she looks at that pile of fives and knows that's what happens when you execute. You get rewarded. You get honored. And so we're so excited. And today, Laura, yesterday when I looked at the leaderboard, I couldn't have been. It was the first time they posted the Cruise to Thousandaire leaderboard. I could not have been more proud to see your name right there at #1. And having been able to put all those trios in this week, I love the fact that our 90-day push or our 30-day push was a trio a week mentality. And I got a text. I wish I had my phone here with me. It's not around me. I got a text from Laura that said, trio a week, that's boring. I'm shooting for 3 trios a week. And you know what? When you find that you've kind of mastered a skill, don't stay there. Elevate your expectations of yourself. That's called self-leadership. And Laura, I am just so excited. So what I want us to do, and I have this feeling, and I'm so sorry, but I have this feeling today I'm going to bump you off that #1 position. But it'll be you and me, baby. We will be cranking it. The blonde and the redhead. Watch out, world, because she's Spitfire and I'm Princess Warrior, and that's all signed, sealed, delivered. We're going to have to hold on to it because now that we've laid the gauntlet down, I'm sure some of these boys are going to try to knock us off that.
I know. I've got the screenshot and I'm enjoying it while it lasts, but I can't. I posted somewhere yesterday. I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, and the exciting thing, that particular contest, the only reason, folks will be able to watch the number, is just because I already hold rank. And so that's the only reason that I'm going to be popping up, because of that ranking. But I just want you to know that I know the numbers. I know what you're doing. I honor you. I celebrate you, Laura. And not just you, Jeremy as well. I know he is behind the scenes doing your tech, and you guys are as a partnership, and it really is worth being celebrated. And I'll do the happy dance for you. I have never done the happy dance for anybody. I know, something like that. I'll have to find some way of really celebrating that. But Laura, tell us, what are you doing? And let's just talk about the banter, because I know you get it as well. How are you doing it? What are you saying? I'm talking to a lot of people, but I can't get them in. I hear that all the time. Tell us, what is your secret sauce?
Yeah, and it's building relationships. And I know the reason I love doing this kind of training and these hangouts is because when you say, oh, just go out and build relationships, just go out and talk to people, for people that comes naturally to, because that's just who I am. I can't, if somebody were to tell me, you have to have strategy, you have to do things this way, I would be as lost as when I go tell someone, just go build relationships. Just do that, because sometimes it just doesn't come naturally. Maybe you even start building relationships and it's not built on the right foundation. So, but it is. I'm building relationships, and I'm building them in multiple different worlds. I'm building them offline, where I actually get on the phone with people. You know, your voice is the greatest gift you can give to somebody. Your time and your voice. And when you take the time to actually talk to someone instead of just putting them through the funnel, and look, we'll talk about that too, but the funnels and the systems are great. They're great tools. But if you're just sticking somebody in a funnel without actually communicating with them and building a relationship with them first, odds are they're just going to stay in the funnel, and they're just going to rotate around in that funnel and never ever come out. So what works for me is that if I mean, obviously I do have some systems, and I'll show them to you, but the key ingredient that's working for me is to talk to people, build an actual friendship with them where they trust me, they know me, I'm authentic, they really feel like I'm actually speaking to them as a person and not just to fill up a third of my trio. And I think a lot of people, because look, it's all over Facebook that trios matter. Trios are what's paid. Everything revolves around a trio. And if somebody feels like just one of a trio, that doesn't make them feel important. It doesn't make them feel even a part of the community. It just makes them feel like another tick off your list. And I think that's a big thing. It's a big, especially right now, the world is so noisy. Social media and everything has so much noise. And you call your doctor's office or an insurance and you feel like a number. Even at your bank, all your money is in your bank and you feel like a number. It's the communication, the relationships where they stop feeling like a number and start feeling like a normal person. That's what speaks the loudest. You don't have to scream and be loud to get attention. Sometimes it's just simply building relationships. That's what's working really well for me, which is good because it comes naturally. And it's easy. Yeah. It's easier.
And let's break it down because first off, I just have to tell you, you are so beautiful.
Thank you.
We're always talking about Solove, but Laura Wells, you are one beautiful woman. And I just want you to know I honor you, your excellence. I'm sitting there just looking at it's so nice. And I think one of the things about creating relationships is I know you're at home. I know you build this out of your home. You got to see me this morning in my no makeup. We had a little time together. I love the fact that you take the time to love on these people with your best. And that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I have watched so many hangouts where folks are picking their nose and they're just showing up and they're not putting time into it. And I just want to honor you with that it's all about being likable. It doesn't mean you have to be pretty to be likable, but folks know if you put forth the effort. Mm-hmm. Do you love yourself enough to give people your best? Well, as we move that into conversations and systems, Laura, in my world here, I've got an office, which is away from my home, and then I've also got, I keep forgetting to click my screen so people can see me. I'm leaving it on you because I'm so mesmerized with how pretty you are. And then I also have a place where people are able to connect with me in a more personal setting. But both settings are very, very, very professional. I have an allotted space. And Laura, what part of my system is, yes, I use Outreach Manager. When I connect with people, they immediately go in Outreach Manager. I invite them to join me in my Share Solove account. And then I also have on my board, as great as technology is, I have a whiteboard, and I make sure people's names are listed on that whiteboard so that I can move them from prospect to lead to activation and make sure that I'm always encouraging and massaging people through that, and then activation into 1, 2, 3 training and 1, 2, 3 training into first trio. What is the system that you use as you're talking to people that you kind of have, and everybody has one, but the system that you use as you're conversing, that's the word, conversing with people all the way through conversion?
Yeah, and it's really funny you say that. And, if something works, don't try and fix it. You don't need to recreate the wheel to be successful. And I think a lot of people may get hung up on that part, thinking that they need to create the system before they can actually go talk to people. And you don't. It's already been created the second you enroll. You've got your Outreach Manager. Share Solove is right there. But even without that, even without Share Solove in the very beginning before it was even launched, Outreach Manager was all I used. And so, yeah, my system is I'm always on Facebook. That is my personal playground. That's where I am. A lot of people know if you can't get me on the phone, 9 times out of 10, you can probably reach me on Facebook a lot faster. And so I'm always on Facebook. So I've got 3 things. I've got 3 places where I want to always have people. And if they're on Facebook, I'm sending private messages, I'm starting conversations. 9 times out of 10, it's not even started about Solove. I would even venture to say 99% of the time it's not started about Solove. Most of the time it's just connecting with them, finding out more about them, Oh, I noticed you are a realtor. How's that going? How's the market? Is the market any better for you? I try and get into their world more primarily than trying to get them into my world. If I can get into their world and love on them.
Let me just jump real quick. So let's just say, and I'm trying to think of the questions people would have. Okay, so where'd you find that realtor? Was it a friend of yours? Did you go into a group? How did you find that realtor that you asked that question of?
I love it. Yeah, so I'm in several groups, but most of them at this point are regarding women's networking, women in business, and Solovay. So women in business, women's networking, that's what I do. That's who I am. I'm in a couple of groups for direct sales leaders, but that's mostly because that's where my heart is helping people grow their business. So I'm not in like internet marketing groups and things like that. For me, that's very noisy. It's very busy, and I don't do well in those types of environments. So what I've been doing though is when I see somebody on Facebook like that's connected with me, I don't know. I mean, some people will find me on Twitter. And then I'll engage with them on Facebook. It's kind of the same thing. If I find somebody on Twitter or even LinkedIn, if they're a connection there, I'll reach out, sending a private message, but I always bring them back to Facebook because I know that's where my playground is. But yeah, so just in general on my news feed, I will tell you, I use that right-hand chat bar a lot. And at first, when that was first launched on Facebook, boy, that was the most annoying thing on Facebook. It was so annoying to have that big giant chat bar. Now, that is it's kind of like my to-do list. I mean, if I see a green dot next to somebody's name, I know that they're active on Facebook right there, and I can send them a message and say, you know, hey, Carrie, how's it going today? Or happy Wednesday, or whatever, and just start engaging in a conversation. Look, if it's somebody that's been following you, which I'll discuss in a second, but if it's somebody that's been following you and talking or reading what you're posting on Facebook a lot, even if you say something about the weather or whatever they just posted, if they've been following you, their brain is automatically going to think, hey, that's that Solovay lady, or whatever. You don't even have to mention Solovay half the time. It's just engaging with people. But I do the same. It's funny. I do the same exact thing that you do. I'm in Facebook. That's my world. I'm also connecting, obviously, in person when I go somewhere. But I use Outreach Manager. So every single time someone says, hey, what's that Solovay thing? Or if I can steer the conversation that way to get them to ask me that question, what's up with this, or can I use an iPhone or whatever, I don't spend a lot of time answering that actual question. What I say every single time without fail is, hey, I'd love to send you some info about this and answer all your questions. What's your email address? I'll pop over a quick video and I'll give you a call after you watch it. It's casual. It's not needy. But I want their email so I can put them into Outreach Manager. When I put them into Outreach Manager, I choose the video, whatever suits the conversation. Sometimes they tell you straight up front that they're just interested in saving money. Sometimes the conversation gets to the point where they're interested in the earning money side of it. And sometimes they're really led by the heart of what Solovay can do for other people. And so depending on what the conversation is, I'll send them the video about saving money, or I'll send them the video about earning money, or I'll send them the video about the member testimonials, what Solovay is doing for people. And so I'll send them the video, but every single time I do exactly what you said, Stacy. I will delete all that, the little note in the Outreach Manager, and I'll make it really personal. You know, hey, it was great talking to you. I loved connecting with you about your dog or whatever. Make it really, really personal so they instantly remember, first of all, who you were, but secondly, this isn't a canned email. You never want it to sound like the one that their neighbor just got. So I make it really personal. And in that note, I say, oh, by the way, if you want even more info, if you like what you see and you want even more info in behind the curtain, fill out this form on blah, 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 my Share Solovay site, and I link them right to it with the form because I want them to fill out that form to go behind the curtain and see the rest of it. So now they're in 3 systems. They're in my personal relationships with Facebook, they're in Outreach Manager, and they're in Share Solovay. And I actually have a whiteboard right there on my wall where my hot leads, the ones that I'm constantly spinning around in the funnel, I've got a list of probably at least 40 names on that board with their phone numbers, check marks, dates, all kinds of stuff, and it really keeps me on track too.
Yeah, and I think that it's good because people need to see that this doesn't just happen. I mean, for you that are getting started, you want to get that first trio just by pure organic conversation, pure organic just getting out there. Even if you're an internet marketer, I think it would be a travesty if you tried to get your first trio alone through internet marketing. You need to feel, you know, we were talking about this morning before the hangout. We like to think that, oh my word, this is so easy. It's not easy. Anything that's worth something is going to have a price tag to it. And for Solevay, the beautiful part, what I love about Ryan, when he was speaking at the direct selling group, the Video Plus, you know, all of those top CEOs and presidents of these billion-dollar direct sales organizations, they were wowed because we figured out a way to remove the entry cost, remove the auto ship, remove the upfront activation, and it's just $49. Seriously, we are saving people money. It's not like you're buying this pill, but you could probably get it at GNC for less. It's not that you're getting this lotion, but really comparable, you could get a really nice Lancome lotion for probably a little less. It's truly, you're saving people money. As simple as that sounds, it's still a process. You've got to know how to get people through the activation system. You've got to know how to get them online. Now, it's simple. We've made it a 6-minute process as opposed to what most carriers do in an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes. Totally disrupted the industry of enrollment. But there are some things you want to know. And the best thing you can do is get in there and start practicing by talking to people. Even if you're going to run an autoresponder system, you need to know what to say in those autoresponders. You need to know how to sign out. So, Laura, let's talk about some of that languaging when people are connecting with people. And last week in Orlando, I had actually the whole thing on a phone thread because I just met a guy in the coffee shop. He was standing in front of me in the coffee line. It was a long coffee line, waiting for my caramel frappuccino, no fat, no whip. And I always, in a setting like that, just like Laura's saying in Facebook, I look for a reason. And this is in the process when we're talking about fishing. Go where the fish are. Go where they are. In other words, enter their world. Find out what they're like. Find out where they're at today. Find out what's interesting them right now. So if you're in Facebook and you see somebody says, hey, big woohoo, just closed another house, and that makes 2 this month, well, that is a great reason for you to jump in and say, congratulations on 2 closings in 1 month. Hoorah for you. You don't have to say, and by the way, have you heard that we've got $49 unlimited voice text? No, it's about them. It's always about them. You give before you receive. And so standing in line with that guy, I noticed that he had a badge on that said, I'm a part of some teachers association. And so I said to him, I said, what are you here for? And he said, oh, I'm a part of the Emerging Teachers Association. I said, oh, emerging, does that mean you are a teacher or you're wanting to be a teacher? And we just struck up a conversation about being a teacher. Well, after he talked about himself enough, he told me that he was actually going to be speaking on stage, and he was really nervous because he was going to be speaking for this convention. That was my open door. I waited till I could hear something that brought us into alignment. And I said, really? Well, I'm speaking at our event, too. It's a regional event. I said, what are you speaking on? He told me. He said, what are you speaking on? And it opened the door for me to talk about Solevay. Very, very natural. Well, throughout that day, it was as simple as saying, well, I tell you what, you go do your speech. I'm going to do mine. I'm going to shoot you a video. What's your email? He gave it to me. I said, what's your phone number? I'm going to text you throughout the day to see how you're doing, because he was in a different ballroom than us. And it was conversational versus pitchy. Laura, talk to us a little bit. That's a kind of sample script, but talk to us about how do you enter into people's world like that online and offline?
Yeah, and the same. And one of the things that I think is has driven me for several years is, I remember hearing this forever ago, and I'm so sorry if I butcher this, but Dale Carnegie says that you can close more business in 2 months by being interested in other people than trying to get people interested in you. And that has stuck with me forever, because You know, there are a lot of strategies. There's a lot of good words to say and all this kind of pitchy stuff that sounds all awesome, but you do not have to be a pro at this. You just need to be more interested in other people instead of trying to appear interesting. Because I'll tell you, a lot of stuff, like I said, there's a lot of infomercials that cost a lot of money, and they've got scripts and they've got professionals and experts and all that tell them exactly what to say. But it's the one that, you know, when your neighbor comes over and says, oh my gosh, I just had the best cheeseburger at the place down the street. It was juicy and moist. It was so delicious. The vegetables were crisp, and the waitress was awesome, and the atmosphere was amazing. I'm going to want to go eat a cheeseburger at that place because my neighbor, first of all, I trust her. And she came over with just totally heartfelt, oh my gosh, it was so delicious. She wanted to share it with me versus a really loud, noisy commercial created by experts about this cheeseburger place, right? So for me, I think connecting like that in person or online, it's the same thing. Be interested in other people. Really engage in what's important to them, because if they look at your conversation as me, I can do this, and I did that, and I'm earning this much money, and look at me, and I do whatever, that's boring. And that's what they hear all the time. So, you know, more than anything else, people really love it when you are actually interested in them. It's an authentic, natural behavior for people to want to engage with somebody who truly cares about them. So, you know, for you, when you were interacting with that guy at the coffee shop, he actually understood that, first of all, you're a real person, that you're a speaker also, so you have something in common, but that, you know, he was telling you about his nerves and, you know, it's a big room and all that kind of stuff, and you can really connect with that. And I just think that's important. And so online or offline, it does not matter. Think of something, you know, spend a little time to go through their Facebook page or look at some of their pictures or ask questions, almost like an interview style of, you know, if you are interacting with somebody, for example, a realtor, a great question to ask them to start to get them to talk about themselves is, how long have you been doing that? What did you do before that? What got you interested in that? Why are you passionate about real estate? I promise you, with those 3 questions, they could probably talk about themselves for an hour. And that's totally fine. I would rather listen to someone talk about themselves for an hour. Meanwhile, during that hour, they're building trust in me, and they know that I'm not just waiting for my chance, not listening to anything they say, just waiting for a break for them to take a breath so that I can verbally vomit all over them. If they know that I just want to know about you, I'm not waiting to verbal vomit all over you. I'm confident enough in my own business and what I have that I don't need to verbally vomit all over them. And people can sense that. They really can. And my husband, it was so funny because we actually got a Facebook message the other day. I'm not going to name any names, but we got a Facebook message the other day with hey, Jeremy, how's it going? And we don't really know this person. We're not friends with this person on Facebook, although we know who it is. And he responded back, fine, thanks. And this person, I wish I had a way to show you. It was a wall of text, links, just truly a wall. Like, you have to scroll 5 verbal vomit will kill your business. My husband said that digital vomit is something to be aware of too. And it's true. And that's the biggest thing, is when you're having a conversation with somebody, really look them in the eye, ask them questions about themselves. Don't just wait till they take a breath so that you can, you know, give them your information. Eventually, if you talk to someone about them long enough, they will bring it back and ask you, because it's uncomfortable to talk about yourself for so long. They're going to ask you, so tell me, what do you do? What's that Solvay logo on your shirt? What's that mean? Is that French? You know, and they'll start a conversation about you too.
Well, I love that. And you know, Laura, what you're hitting on are really principles, and I hope you guys are taking notes. If you're not, you need to rewind this back and listen to what she just said. Because I have been an executive life coach for many, many years. It started off when I was 18 years old in direct sales, and I was a young girl coaching everyone in my group. We made millions of dollars at a very early age in my network, and I had an incredible team of tens of thousands of people and had everything money could buy. I was trained by my father. He taught me how to be resilient. That was in a company. We sold water filters, and you had a choice to either buy $5,000 entry or $25,000 entry, not $49, unlimited voice, text, and data. And so one of the things that was very interesting was the fact that that grounded me to know that as a girl, as a young 18, 19-year-old girl, and really I hit my prime in that company when I was about 21, I had to practice talking to people who were smarter than me, who were more professional than me, who had more life skills than me. And I had to learn to present myself with absolute certainty. Clearly, as a 19-year-old girl, I couldn't try to talk to a 40-year-old executive and say, hey, here's why you need to listen to me. Instead, I had to say to that 40-age-plus executive, do you mind if I get your opinion on something? I'm very passionate about it, and I think I can do this. Would you give me your opinion? So I went with the I need your opinion approach, which at that time really helped me because I didn't have credibility. I didn't have money. I didn't have a track record other than the fact that I was a singer, and I was a good singer. So people knew me as a singer in the market, but I was still just a kid. And but I began to take that season of absolute certainty to drive myself into understanding how to language things and how to listen for what people need and say. And eventually, obviously, working with Zig Ziglar for 12 years, I eventually became a life coach and did that for many, many years, where the whole key to life coaching, and Laura just nailed on some very key principles. Key of life coaching is being able to defrag people's pain spots without telling them you have issues. You want them to come to you and say, here's my challenge, I need a solution. And then with the right questions, you lead them into making a decision without you ever having to tell them to. So one of the key things, and you need to write this down, that I always encourage folks is, number one is seek to understand, not be understood. That's a very important one. Seek to understand, and she was saying very much like Dale Carnegie, it's more important for you to hear them than for them to hear you. Now that email that Laura's talking about, somebody said, hey, how you guys doing? And the next thing you know, they were seeking to be understood. They wanted to be heard. So that long email was like a megaphone going, look, follow me. You don't want to do that. Instead, you want to create the conversation that says, that's fantastic. Well, tell me a little bit more about that. Get them to talk again. Well, I'm spending, $300, $400 a month. What would you do with that money? If that money, if you didn't have to spend $400 a month anymore, I hear you. I mean, that's pitiful. I didn't even know people still spend that kind of money. But if you didn't have to spend that, what would you do with that money? Oh my word, my family has not been on a vacation in 4 years. Really? I don't know if you know what I'm doing right now, but it might be a solution for you. Can I send you a video? I'm still not pushing. I'm still looking for a way that maybe this could be something for you. Take a look at it. I'll call you back because I know it's been a big deal to my family, but I'm not coming at it pitchy. I'm coming at it because they just opened up to me an area of pain. Maybe it was the fact that they don't get good cell coverage. Well, that's just straight up mobile service. But don't go, oh my gosh, I got Solivay. Have you heard about it? It's on a 4G network. Totally different approach than going and leading from the heart. Okay, so Laura, once we get into that and listen, ask the right questions, once we get them to that place where they say, yeah, I'll watch the video, how do we get them through that funnel? Because that funnel can be a 3-week, 4-week process. It can even be a 6-month process. I've watched you load your funnel over the last few months, and you got some great things popping out right now. Tell us, what are you doing in the process while you're waiting for that to take place, and how are you trickling on them to get them finally to make the, aha, I'm ready to get started?
Yeah, and it's a lot of it is consistency. While they're in that funnel, wherever the funnel is, when you touch base with them, I think it's really important that you've got to get over thinking that you're bothering people. That was, for me, that was a huge hang up for me when I first started all this 15 years ago. I always felt like, oh, I don't want to bother them. You know, they'll sign up on their own when they're ready, magically. And I really did. I cared so much that I really didn't want to bother them. I really thought I was going to be seen as pushy by following up. And someone early on when I was in direct sales, it was a home party business that I did, and it was a woman who said she wanted to book a party. This has nothing to do with Solivate, but I'm using it as an example. She said she wanted to book a party with me, and I really needed more parties, right? So similar to I need more trios. But she said, I'm really excited. My friends are going to love this. I really want to book a party. Please, just give me some time. I need to sort stuff out. Well, to me, that was telling me, well, if she really wanted to book a party, she would have done that right then and there, right? It's just putting a date on the calendar. So I completely I don't want to bother her. I don't want to keep calling her. I don't want, it's 6 o'clock where she is. It's going to be, interrupting dinner. I kept thinking, oh, I don't want to, interrupt anything or be a burden. So I literally just said, well, if she wants to book a party, she'll call me. So it was about 4 months later, and I got a beating from this person. She was mad. She was very angry with me, and it turns out that she really did want to host a party, but she literally had such a busy life that she forgot to book, that she needed to book in advance. So by the time she called me, my date wasn't available anymore. But that was the date she had already told her friends. And the moral of this story is that if they have told you that they're interested, or if they have asked you, yeah, keep me in the loop, yeah, I'll watch the video, yeah, I'll get in your funnel, or whatever, you're doing them a favor, because look, there is a busy world out there, and people are so swamped with all kinds of stuff on their calendar already. I consider it a favor when I'm reminding them of something that they told me they wanted. I'm doing them a favor. So first of all, it's just a mindset. You've got to get over thinking that you're being a bother, or that you're going to be seen as pushy, because you've just got to get over that. You are doing them a favor. You're just saving them money. It's like the newspaper person putting the Sunday paper in your yard every single week. Whether you clip the coupons or not, that'll save you money. It's their job to keep putting it out there every single week without fail, same time, whether you choose to bring it in and actually use it, or choose to bring it right in and throw it in the trash can. That decision is up to you. But their job is to bring it to you every single week. Your job is to bring Solivate to them and consistently follow up, just touches, just little sprinkles. Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to check in on you, see if you're ready to set up your Solivate account. That's all I say. You don't need to go on and on about all the details. So when I follow up with people, generally I'm talking to them about them. But if I need to ask them, if it comes to the point where I feel like I need to say, if you told me you were going to sign up on May 1st, then on May 1st, I will literally send you a message and I'll say, are you ready to set up your Solivate account? Let me know when you're ready. My phone number is blah, blah, blah. I've got time later this afternoon. I'm happy to walk you through it. It takes less than 10 minutes. That's all. I think that a confused mind says no. And so that's another thing that I've been trying to teach people, and even myself, because we get so excited about stuff that we tend to go on and on about stuff. And but if you're overwhelming people with all this information of, okay, now be sure you have this and make sure you have that, and remember that trios and 40% roll and the pay path plan, and you can get stock options, and oh my gosh, don't forget to register for Vegas, and all this stuff before they even sign up. If they're confused, they're going to tell you no, or they're going to think it's hard. They're going to think it's hard to do, which then they're not going to do it. They're going to think that they have to know everything, which they're not going to want to do that either. You want to make sure that they understand this is like clipping a coupon. You sign up with Solivate, you put your SIM card in the phone, and it's like magic, you start saving money. It really is that simple. It's us that makes it too complicated, and we turn people off by that. So it's just keeping it consistent. My brand, I'm not out there promoting a million other things. I'm not making it look difficult, and I'm staying consistent with that message the whole way time. And I think it's just attracting people who want something simple and fun. Keeping it fun.
And a couple things you just mentioned that I think are real important is you've been very, very focused with your brand. Folks are always saying, Stacy, what do you feel is the difference? For me personally, for Laura, for some of the folks, Ricardo Gloria, when I look at the folks that are having the best results in sign up and conversion, When I say conversion, I don't mean people opting into your system. I always hear people saying, I get 200 conversions a week. And then I'll look at their numbers and go, then you'd be on the leaderboard. But they're not. So what they're meaning is 200 people are coming into my system. What pays you, though, is how many members are signing up. And so there is a knack to knowing how to do that. Well, it's very, very important that as you're looking at that and you're looking at working with people, that you work them through to a place of conversion into the system. And Laura just said something that I think is very interesting, is that she just continues to follow up. She said this on stage when I brought her up. She said, follow up until they tell you to shut up. And what she means by that is, you know, it takes 8 to 12 touches to actually move somebody to a place to conversion on average online, especially if they don't really know you. So how do you continue to follow up? Well, you certainly don't keep sending canned responses out of Outreach Manager. You continue to send videos, and if you'll look, you can literally start off with the What is Solove video and then just work your way down through that video list. People are telling me, well, how do you keep track of it? Well, one of the ways is inside of Outreach Manager is a place for notes. Just put on there, sent mobile service video. Then you go to the next one and go, oh, the next one is earn and share. Sent, earn and share. So every time, and you see them opening it, that's good. If they open it, you see a one little purple leader. If they open it and watch a majority of it, there's going to be 2 purple leaders. And if they open it, watch the video, and opt to click on something else, you're going to get a triple leader. And that means that they're really interested. Just keep following up and make sure that you're conversational with them. Don't go, oh, hey, want to tell you about $49 unlimited voice tech. Remember, that is, as Laura has so politely explained it, verbal vomit. And no one wants that. I think it's also important, too, that once you get them to that place where they're going, do I get started? There's a few things that you can say, and we'll do this in closing. There's a few things that you can say and do that may just help them get over the edge of, okay, let's get started. In the back of their head, maybe, ooh, I'm in contract. I'm really trying to, you know, I know I've got about $200 to pay out of that contract. I don't have that kind of money. So number one, what do you do when people are in contract? First thing you can do is you can encourage them. You know, that's no problem. Solove obviously thought of that. And one thing that you can do is simply pay that termination fee and begin to share trios. And I'm going to help you immediately. We're going to go out there. We're going to try to get that first trio. That would be $20 every month coming in. So over the long haul, not only will you be able to pay that off, but it'll actually pay you in the long run. So one, you can pay off the termination fee. The number 2 thing is that you can actually contact that provider, depending upon who the provider is, and you can reduce that bill down to sometimes $10 a month. You can go for just a text only on that particular plan. If it's $10, $29, whatever it is, call them and lower your payment to the absolute lowest payment, and then take that SIM card out of that phone, stick it in a drawer even if you don't use it, if you're going to use your own phone. When your SIM card comes with Solove, activate it, put it in your phone. $49 a month plus that little $10 or $29, whatever is in the drawer, is still usually less than what they're currently spending, and they've got a profit center on top of it. So encouraging them with the right information to make that decision. Another thing you can say is, hey, listen, I really want you to get started, and if you'll get started this month, I just want to show you that I'm going to be all for you in getting this process started, and I'm going to send you 3 SIM cards to help us get you your first trio. Now, is that worth it for you? You better believe it. 3 SIM cards is going to just cost you a little bit of money one time, but if they sign up a trio with that SIM card, that's going to pay you repetitively. So that's very, very important to think about. What is your expenditure for them as well as the return? And here's a little tip of advice. The top performing recruiters all carry SIM cards because we're activating people live on the spot. We're making sure we get people right in the system so they don't have to wait. So there's some things. Laura, let me throw it back at you. Tell us, you've got somebody, they're interested, they've watched 7 videos. What can they say or do to go ahead and complete that process and get them into as a member?
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because this actually happened to me just recently. I have a woman that I've been literally following up with since August. Okay, persistence. You know, and I've been doing it in a way where I'm just her friend, just checking in. I will send messages, hey, just wanted to check in with you, see if you had any questions. It does not have to be a whole long diatribe. You're just wanting to feel it. You're just wanting to put your name back in the front of their mind, to let them know. A lot of times I just send a message saying, hey, I was just thinking about you, just wanted to check in, hope you're having a great week. It doesn't even have to say anything about Solivay. But consistently following up like that. And you know, you said something really, really important that I think is a key, is that when someone is really holding off and they're still on that fence, and they've been on the fence for a really long time, obviously they've got something that's hanging them up. There's always something. So you can absolutely be a friend and not be seen as being pushy if you just try and ask them something like, hey, I know you were really excited about this. Okay, that's validating the fact that they told you they were excited about it. So I remember that you said to me that you were really excited about this. You're really excited about saving money or whatever that they were, you know, touching base on. Remind them of what they said. So I know you were really excited about this because it's going to save you guys a lot of money. I want to help you do that. I want to give you something. Do you have any questions, or do you have any stumbling blocks? Is there anything in your way right now that I could help you with? Every single time I've said that to somebody, they've always come back with a real, valid question. Contract. And I'm very to the point. I'm very matter of fact when they talk to me about like the contract thing of, absolutely, a lot of people are in contracts. It's just one of those things that here in the United States, it seems like everybody's in a contract. So here's a couple of options for you. When you lay it out like that, if you've got a choice, A, B, or C, they're going to usually choose one of those. And so, and if they don't, I've had a couple people that say, you know what, I can't afford to get out of my contract. Importing a number is really important to me, so I can't do option number 2 of getting a new number and putting the SIM card in a drawer. So I think I just need to wait. Look, when you have somebody that's still in your funnel like that, that is still waiting because they have a real valid obstacle in front of them where they just, for them, it's not going to work right now, say absolutely no problem. You know what? Do you want me to keep you in the loop of when something exciting happens that you might want to know about? Leave them with the feeling of that they want to tell you yes, because they don't want to turn you down either. They don't want to say no to you either. So I always say, you may keep you in the loop. Absolutely, I'd love to stay in the loop. Great, I'll keep you posted. If anything comes up or any exciting news from regional or whatever comes out, I'll always keep you in the loop. You let me know when things change, and I'll keep you posted on the exciting stuff. During that time, of course, I'm keeping them posted of, oh my gosh, I just got back from Orlando and you're never going to believe this. This is so awesome, because you never know. Something majorly exciting like that may just make it possible where they'll hold a garage sale to get out of their contract. You know, there's always something. But in the meantime, in between all that exciting stuff, build a relationship with them. Become their friend. Because you're going to need people to sign up 9 months from now too. But here's the thing. And this is what I want everybody to take away from this. While you're following up with people over here and constantly poking the funnel and just cultivating those relationships, don't forget to fill your funnel with more people from over here. Because if you spend all your time chasing the people over here and forgetting that there are another 300 million people who use cell phones over here, you're facing the wrong direction. So face this way and go get new people always in your funnel all the time, every single day. That is your goal. Your goal is not to get a trio a week. Your goal is to talk to new people and fill your funnel with like 12 people a week. Because if you do that on a consistent basis over here is going to be a no-brainer. They're going to always just pile right in. Somebody asked me that after you dragged me up on stage in Orlando, somebody asked me that of, oh my gosh, you signed up 10 people in 1 week. How many people did you have to talk to that week to get 10 people to actually sign up? I didn't do anything different than I'm doing every single day. Just cultivating those relationships on a daily basis consistently. It just happened that over time, those 10 people were ready that week. And I was there, I was prepared. I always have SIM cards. I'm always ready. When somebody calls me and says, I need to sign up right now. You know, they've been waiting for like 6 months, right, to sign up, but they need to sign up right now in the next 15 minutes. I'm ready, just like that every single time. So
that is incredible. Laura, that constant cultivation, and you said something real quick before we close out here, is you said something about, well, some people might even do a garage sale in order to pay off. You know, my mom, Donna Wirch, you guys know her as Ryan Wirch's mom. She didn't want to have a handout when I brought her on as one of my original 12. She didn't want anybody to pay for it. Back then, we had to pay a $49 activation, $49 a month, $29 SIM card fee, and a $650 phone.
And a phone, yeah.
My mom held a garage sale, and on she used a Craigslist as well. She sold items in order to have, that was about, I think it came to over $800 to get started, in order to have that money. She didn't want Ryan, she didn't want me, she didn't want anybody. She wanted her story to be, I did whatever I had to do to get started because I realized this was a chance. And you know what? That's where you need to be right now. Maybe you've got some things that have been holding you back, and maybe you've been trying to figure out, you know, how can I get the extra money to, you know, get the computer I need, or to be able to get a phone that I can really do this business, or maybe to get your business cards, or maybe you, you know, you do need to get out of contract. You're watching this because you're just watching. There are times in life where you've got to take on the mentality that I will not let anything stop me. I'm going to be a part of the revolution, and even if I have to go do a bake sale or a lemonade stand, I am going to do this, and I'm going to be one of those people like Laura, that I might start off the underdog, I'm going to end up on top. And that is what I love about this Google Hangout, is that we are showing you that no matter who you are, where you come from, you have the opportunity. Don't let yesterday be your excuse for tomorrow. Don't let someone else's opinion of you become your future. Choose today that you're going to begin. Let this be your day one. Do whatever you have to do to take all out massive action. Follow up with people. Create relationships. Talk to them like you really care. Don't treat them like a number. Seek to understand them. Don't seek to have them understand you and your business. And I really do believe that you are going to begin to see, as you continue to fill that funnel, work that funnel, and always focus forward, that you will see that it's just a matter of time that Solevay is going to create a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for you. Laura, thank you so much for being my guest today and my co-host. We're going to begin. Again, we'll invite other people in. I just wanted to keep it close with you and I today, and let folks into our heart and some of the things that are working for us. We encourage you right now, as we sign off, to go ahead and go online to facebook.com/groups/Empowered Living Network Live. We're going to be in there for the next 30 minutes, and we will be answering your questions and finding out what it is that you need right now in order to truly take your business to the next level. On behalf of Laura and the Boom team, my name is Stacy Wallace, and I want you to know that now is the time. This is the place, and you are the one to start your revolution. Again, thank you so much, and we're both believing the best for you. Goodbye, everyone.